Good morning everybody, or good afternoon, and welcome back to another vlog. And in this one, we are here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the IMSA Chevrolet Grand Prix weekend. And yeah, this weekend's a sprint weekend, much more compact than the 6 hours of the Glen. Only 2 hour and 40-minute race, and only Friday to Sunday. So it's a little bit more condensed, but hopefully I'll still be able to get most of the spots and most of the shots. So we're starting off, it's Friday. We just finished up with the VP Challenge practice. They just finished up. We are now moving into, I believe, the MX-5 Cup practice. And then from there, we'll be going into WeatherTech. I'm hanging out down at turn 5 at the moment, so we'll see how turn 5 turns out, because I'm not sure how often I'll be able to get here throughout the rest of the weekend. And we'll go from there. So let's jump right into it. right, a little bit of an update. The VP Racing Challenge qualifying just finished up, and that was after the WeatherTech practice. WeatherTech practice was awesome. I feel like I got some really good shots that I'm really happy with. You've probably already seen them. And VP Racing Challenge, that went pretty well as well. Pretty much just stayed in one spot. Wasn't really much point in moving. There wasn't very long between them anyways. And yeah. So up next is the Michelin Pilot Challenge. That'll be the last event of the day. Michelin Pilot Challenge practice. That's an hour long. Gonna hang out down at turn 5 and see what we can get. All right, and just like that, we are done for the day. Whew, that was a hot one, and it felt like a long one, even though I was only there since like 12:30-ish. We packed lots of in today. I feel like I got so many good shots. And yeah, the final Michelin Pilot practice went good. It was successful. I feel like I got a lot of good photos there. And then I went to the paddock a little bit, which you saw, to get a look at a couple of the WeatherTech cars and stuff, see them in the paddock. I'm probably going to go there tomorrow morning too, to see if I can get them out and about, going to tech and stuff. We'll see what happens. I gotta still head into town, check into my hotel, get dinner, grocery shop for lunches. So my night's still not over yet, but this is where I'm going to leave you for now, and I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
now must, as his head down, he's trying to build an advantage. 2 seconds. I was wondering if that penalty could cost AJ an additional lead. It doesn't look like it will there, but that's a tough way to lose not just a share of the points lead. For Valentino Catalano, he has been kept off the podium at both rounds at Middle Ireland. That does not sound well with the 19-year-old Alex Woolridge.
Racing in North America, you get to race at classic tracks like this one. Whoa, problems there for one of the... It is the 68. That's a problem for Porter. Meanwhile, Valentino comes along. Sees it easy. Intralogistics does it again. Sends a driver to victory lane, and Valentino Catalano returns to the top step of the podium. Wow. And Woolridge crosses the line on home soil. 2.3 seconds adrift. Strong run from him, led early in this race. But Jake Walker in GTDX, what a performance he's putting together. Comes out of the mud. The checkered flag for Jake Walker and Turner Motorsport winners in at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. What to crown.
All right, good morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock-ish at the moment. I've been at the track for a little while now. We just wrapped up the MX-5 qualifying. Before that, we had the VP Challenge race. Both of those turned out well. The VP Challenge race, I got awesome photos, as you've probably already seen, including that one of the wheel falling off, the LMP3. I haven't got those onto my phone yet, but I think those turned out pretty sweet. And yeah, Mazda MX-5 qualifying, I was down at the exit of turn 2 shooting that. That was pretty fun. And next up is WeatherTech qualifying, or WeatherTech practice, sorry, again. So we're gonna head down to turn 3, shoot in front of the Canadian Tire Motorsport sign. That way at least I know I have those shots done for the weekend, just in case. And yeah, so let's get on with it.
anything though with the fuel consumption? Is he saving anything? Because we've heard it's marginal to do this on one stop. You have to have a strategy before the race if you are going, before the stint should I say, you are going to feel safe, you can't do it in the last down, so nowhere near enough time up. That's a right way of picture I think, just one tyre going on the liquid moly, incredible sport machine. But what they're going to do here is refill that car with big racing fuel and send it, and then there has...
All right, just popping in here to say that unfortunately, even though I'd love to have the audio of this clip, I can't have the audio of this clip because the wonderful gentlemen that were camping right at this spot the whole weekend never left us any space, first of all, but throughout this whole race decided that they were going to blast very loud rock music from their campground. So, seeing that I had to be near their campground to shoot this shot, because they parked like right against the fence, none of these clips are usable audio-wise. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with the audio, so they'll just have to be muted, and you can hear my voice complaining about it instead. With this, back to the video. right, just a little bit of an update. The Michelin Pilot Challenge race is now over. There was a big wreck. I did the autograph session, so I didn't get too much shooting, but I felt like I got enough. I got the key points. I think the photos should turn out well. And yeah, up next is WeatherTech qualifying, and then the MX-5 race. So we'll jump right into those.
Take a very weird turn, a very weird turn. 5, 3, uninterrupted, with sound and vision Now, this is interesting.
And just like that, for the second weekend in a row, it pours rain. We were just finishing up the MX-5 race. Black clouds started to roll in real quick. Thankfully, the race was pretty much done, so I was able to hike it back to the car. I was staying pretty close by. Got to the car just as it started pouring rain. It's supposed to be the VP Racing Challenge right now, but I don't know if they're going to cancel it or just postpone it. And then the race afterwards, the big race afterwards, the WeatherTech race. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, and hopefully this rain clears up soon.
the Porsche and
heavily applied to the TDS car. That's already happened on the timing screen. Thank you to Alphabet. And the Ferrari from Corvette from AO Racing in third position. All had their moments at the front of the field. Will Taylor Racing take a victory in the Lamborghini Huracan with their big gamble on fuel? And Whitwood Racing extend their championship lead in second, with Vassar Sullivan Racing in third. Brilliant stuff from the guys at the sharp end.
Holy cow, that was one heck of an episode. Finally, we are at the editing table. I did a whole outro for this, and then I realized, once I finally got it onto the editing, that the audio didn't decide to record. I think it's something with me being in the car and the Bluetooth connected at the car that the audio just doesn't work. So, anyways, it is, pretty much, 9 months later? No, not that much. 5 months later. So, sorry if I can't give you much details on what actually happened. It's not very fresh in my mind anymore. Should have done this sooner, but didn't get around to it. But, yeah, it was, such a great weekend. I always love going for the Chevrolet Grand Prix. It's, of course, the first IMSA race I ever attended. And, it was my favorite to attend, but I think that's kind of been knocked off by the Rolex 24. So, yeah, overall, great weekend. We did get some rain on Sunday, unfortunately, which knocked out the VP Racing Challenge second race. So we didn't get to shoot as much of those cars this weekend as I would have liked, but we still got the key shots, and I really enjoyed it. The VP Racing Challenge was something fresh this year. Yeah, it was fresh this year. So we saw it at the Rolex, and it was nice to see it again at, well, our home race around Mosport. Along with that, we had the MX-5 Cup, second year of them being back. Always great racing, especially on like a road circuit like this with elevation. They bunch up into the packs, and it's so cool to watch them coming around the corners. Michelin Pilot Challenge was good. We got the autograph session in there, but we were still able to get to all the spots that we wanted to. Just kind of sucked that that guy was blasting rock music right at turn 3. Would have loved to get some audio for you guys there, and I think we did end up getting some, but not as much as I would have liked. And of course, the WeatherTech race was a pretty good race. Thankfully, it dried up. I was kind of hoping for some wet running, but I didn't want the race to be delayed, and I didn't really want to get soaking wet either. So it was fine that it dried up. We had plenty of safety cars. I forget how many exactly, but it felt like it was just safety car after safety car after safety car. And as you know, unfortunately, the race ended under safety car, so we didn't get a great finish. I did get some stuff from one of the restarts at the start-finish line, a couple side-by-side shots and stuff, but not the checkered flag finish or any sort of excitement on the finish line. I mean, it is what it is. We still got some great shots. I mean, it took me so long to sort through the photos and then edit this. Looks like it'll be just over an hour-long video. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to cut that here. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment if you like, and thank you very much for hanging on with me till the end. And until next time, have a good one.